10 years ago, the New Jersey Performing Arts Center opened its doors in downtown Newark. Zachary Fink takes a look at the city's transformation and what the experts think about the next phase, which includes a new sports arena.
The state of New Jersey and the city of Newark deserve a world-class performing arts center.
In the late 1980s, Governor Kean had a radical idea: build the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark, the state's largest city.
When I suggested it, nobody bought it. Everybody said, you can't put that in Newark. We'll fund it if you put it in Morristown, or you put it in Princeton, or someplace like that. And I said, no, Newark. Newark makes sense.
The Newark of the late 80s and early 90s was not exactly a thriving cultural metropolis. Scars from the 1967 riots were still visible, and perceptions about safety hadn't changed much in 20 years. But some early signs of a comeback were beginning to take shape.
The meaning of this art center to Newark is almost immeasurable. Newark so needed a success. Newark needed something here that was better than anywhere else. Newark needed something that was world class.
In 10 years, 5 million people have visited the PAC, roughly 500,000 per year, although that figure has dropped off recently. But experts say the revival of Newark is about much more than the PAC's bottom line.
Before NJPAC opened, there were dire predictions on two sorts. One was that none of the white people from the suburbs would ever come in to Newark, and so the thing would be a failure. The other was that it's high culture and it would alienate the people who live here and they wouldn't come. Both of those have proven wrong.
The PAC still receives state subsidies, about $1.5 million each year. Its $27 million budget comes from a combination of ticket sales, its restaurant, parking, and interest from an endowment.
No art center is profitable. If art centers were profitable, Donald Trump would be building art centers.
But profitability is a major concern for the New Jersey Devils. It's one of the reasons they left the Continental Arena, which wasn't drawing fans in the numbers the team expected. The new Prudential Center, an 18,000-seat arena known as The Rock, is expected to open its doors for hockey games later this month. Many observers believe the PAC served as an anchor tenant for all large-scale development the city has seen since, including the new arena.
Well, I think there's some similarities, but there's also a lot of differences. I mean, this facility is going to end up bringing in 2.5 to 3 million people a year into Newark. It's going to bring in people from out of town. It's going to bring in people from different parts of the state.
But with all the fanfare about the Newark Arena and the contribution it's expected to make to the city, the look here has changed. I'm standing on Broad Street, the main thoroughfare in the city of Newark, and in the last couple of weeks, the construction of a parking garage has completely obscured the view of the arena from here on Broad Street and from the western portion of the city.
It seems like the stadium is here, but it's not for us. So that's a, big thing, big blow to we as business owners downtown Newark.
Critics of the arena are concerned that promises about an economic engine for the citizens of Newark may prove false. Although more than 5,000 people did show up for a two-day job fair in early September, and more than 800 Newark residents were hired.
I guess one could say that's positive because now people have some jobs that didn't have jobs before. But when you look a little bit deeper, we find that most of these jobs were part-time jobs, and many of these jobs were not at what we would consider a living wage.
Another concern is that the venue is primarily for hockey. Initially, the New Jersey Nets were part of the agreement, but the Nets have since committed to Brooklyn.
That was a great missed opportunity. I mean, they were there, the ownership was willing to put them in the arena, and government failed. Government failed at every level. That was the opportunity. Basketball is something that the kids in Newark live.
I mean, what do people in this city play? They play basketball, some play baseball, some play soccer, but there's not a lot of hockey going on in this area, in this community.
But the Devils believe the economic prospects are good. There are 76 luxury suites at the arena, selling for $225,000 each. Restaurants and bars are designed to boost attendance and increase revenue. They anticipate the Rock will be filled 200 dates out of the year, including concerts and other events. 80% of that traffic will be after 5 p.m. Urban planners say the key to Newark's long-term success will be a revival of the city's nightlife. For years, downtown is cleared out after business hours. But 1,200 students are now living in the heart of the city and attending RUTGERS Newark, a figure that has doubled in the last 2 years.
There is a new generation of young people who have grown up in relatively low density and homogeneous communities who find cities exciting. Unlike their parents' generation, they're not afraid of race. They're not afraid of crime in the way that a previous generation was. They're not running away from cities.
The Rock will open with a sold-out Bon Jovi concert on October 25th. Zachary Fink, NJN News, Newark.